Hey everyone, this is Jon Shafer again, designer of At the Gates. Well, the first Let's Play video went over really well, so we decided to, go ahead and make a second one. So we hope you guys enjoy it. The focus this time is going to be pretty similar to the first one, where we're playing out the first year or so of the game, and we've made a few changes since the first video, so there'll be some new things to check out. So yeah, like I said, the first video went over really well, but one of the comments I did get was that I take a fair bit of time when playing my turns out, so this time I'm going to try to be a little bit speedier for you guys' sake. Sorry about that, what can I say? It's a strategy game, and I like to take my time, and like I said in the first time, I think it's a good demonstration of how good the strategy is, or that's the idea anyways. Alright, so this is our starting location this time around. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the hinted locations that we can see out here. Rumors of abandoned camp, deserted village, a bunch of berries, and some fish here. So we have a bunch of trees as well, so that means timber is going to be in our favor, and then some minerals here next to our settlement. So one of the biggest changes from the first video is the addition of foraging. So you can see that there is an interesting looking resource here that's actually new to the game. It is a beehive, and we can build an apiary on that with a farmer, or we can actually have a gather forage it. Similarly, we have another new resource that's pigs, and we can send a hunter to hunt the pigs. And foragers are cool because they can actually forage outside your borders as well as inside, so they have an advantage over structures. So, let's see. Trying to decide what we want to do here without taking too much time. Go ahead and take a look at what clans we've started with. Alright, so we start with 3 clans now, and they are a little bit different from what we had before. There's a little bit more variety, and I'll get to that in just a second. So Vander is a master craftsman, 5 levels in crafting. Okay, that's a big advantage, although it does mean that he, as the tooltip says, he expects a profession in crafting. So we've changed some of the names and some of the groupings of things, so what used to be called construction is now crafting. And that includes things like weaving, making cloth, that sort of thing. So more than just building structures. Alright, this one, Bertram, has a smithing lineage, plus 2 levels in smithing, doesn't want anything to do with animals, and Lothar is afraid of fire. Okay, so Lothar does not want to be in metalworking, but we have somebody that does, so that's good. Alright, so first thing we have to do is decide where we want to move our settlement, if we want to. I think we probably do. Oh yeah, that reminds me, something else. We've actually enhanced quite a few things with the user interface. Nothing just huge, but we like to make little polish upgrades as we go. You can see here there's an overlay that shows, a very crappy looking overlay at the moment, that shows where our borders will be if we move our settlement to that particular tile. So before you had to kind of guess what your borders were going to be, or just memorize the rules, but then you have to count tiles, you have to turn on the grid, and that's kind of a pain. So I guess I can show that off. So we have 3 different settings for the grid, depending on what style you like, or no grid at all. I usually prefer to go that way, but it doesn't make a big difference. Okay, so we don't want to go in the forest, because forest, as it says in the bottom right, requires all your movement points to enter. Speaking of which, I should mention that we also have a lot of new icons, so be on the lookout for that. In some of the places, we have a lot of icons, and I know that will be too many for some, so we'll actually have some options in the final version of the game where you can turn those on and off. You can switch everything to only icons, or you can switch it to only text. So you have some variety there. You're not stuck. You kind of want to give people the ability to customize their experience. Anyways, okay, so it's generally good to be able to start training a clan on the first turn. So what we can do is we can move our clan south 1, and that gives us a little bit more territory here without losing anything on the top. And leaves us with 1 movement point. So moving on the hill costs 2, we had 3. So if we unpack here, then we can start training somebody right away. We could move again, but then we couldn't start training anybody, and that's not so good. So in this situation, we get what our lead artist hates, which is things stacking on top of each other. So we have our settlement on a mineral, on a hill. It's a strategy game. What can I say? Okay, so back to our clans here. We have a deserted village here, and it's generally always good to get a scout up and running because scouts are good at that. So we'll go ahead and click on that. We can see a number of different professions that we can train here. One of the big focuses with the some of the recent changes is making the professions and the resources a little bit more interesting. So nothing radical, but most of these professions are foragers that I talked about. So like the hunter can hunt the pigs, big giant scary tooltip that we'll work on. Gather can collect things like fruit and honey, so we may want to gather here in a second. Wood collector does just kind of what you would expect. Allows you to collect timber from forests, and then you can use that timber to build things. So there's kind of a two-tiered system where you have foragers at the beginning, and then you have to upgrade what you have in order to start building structures. In previous versions of the game, you would just start building structures right off the bat, and this kind of adds a second strategy, if you will. So you can kind of go down the forager path, or you can kind of try to get to structures ASAP, or you can try to blend the two. There's a lot of options now. Show off the whole professions tree now. It's now builds up vertically instead of horizontally. So this is the honor tree. This is agriculture, livestock, metalworking. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff. We want to make sure there's a lot of depth in the game, a lot of things to do. But if we go back to show less, you can see these are our options right now. So we want it to build up, kind of like an inverted pyramid, where you don't have a ton to worry about in the early going. But as you go deeper and deeper, as you learn more about the game, you have more options that you can do interesting things with. So anyways, I was going to build a scout, so we are going to train Clan Lothar as a scout. You'll see some of our extra new icons, whatever, words, enough words, no clicking. Alright, so scout, get the scout started. That will take 2 turns. Study profession. Okay, so I'm going to show less here as well. I had that open from a previous playthrough. And one of the changes is that now, instead of just jumping straight into these trees of professions, again, this is the full tree. We can show less. We can show more. This will show you kind of what you can get to next. There's now what I'm calling a wrapper to enter each of these trees. So if we study honor, then this allows us to then study other professions in honor. But the biggest benefit is, as the tooltip says, you can then immediately switch the discipline of one of your settled clans to honor. So that is a big benefit because it allows you to train clans much more quickly, especially in higher level professions. So we have to think a little bit about what direction we want to go here. One thing that I tend to like to do is I like to go for discovery. This is kind of a combination. Before we had 2 different disciplines called communication and learning. We kind of merged those. I think that 6 disciplines works better than 7, just with how all the different professions work out. There just wasn't enough stuff in learning or in communication before. This works a little bit better. There's also moved some things around, so things related to cloth are moved from agriculture to crafting, that sort of thing. Anyways, so what I was saying is I like doing discovery first because that then lets me switch to somebody to discovery, and I can train a surveyor more quickly, and they can start looking at what these minerals are. So we will go ahead and end our turn. And now we're off. Okay, so we have a new clan. Clan Pepjin has joined our tribe. They are vigorous, which means they can move 1 extra tile per turn, which is great for a scout, but we are already training Lothar as a scout. So, bummer. Oh well. Maybe we can train them as an archer or something. Or maybe we can train them as the surveyor. You know, that might not be a bad idea, considering, you know, it takes turns to move through all this garbage terrain that takes some time. So I think I may do that, actually. So I may switch a clan's discipline. You have a notification up here that says, you know, describes that benefit I talked about earlier. So, if we click Pepjin, boom. Pepjin is now purple. Pepjin is now in this the discovery discipline. You can see in the tooltip here. Now, one of the other things that I'll talk a little bit about here, that you can see in this tooltip, is that Clan Pepjin has one family and gets +1 in 24 turns. So, one of the problems that we were having with the earlier versions of the game is the kind of the pacing curve, and it was easy to build up and get enough food to let me think here for a second. I'll go ahead and talk about what I wanted to talk about first, which was the families. So families allow us to increase the food consumption curve, because in the past the number of clans that you would get over time would decrease. We didn't want you getting one new clan every turn for 250 turns and then with 250 clans. That's just too much. You don't want that much to worry about. There's just, if you have that many, then the clans start getting, you know, they start running together. They're not as unique or as interesting. So what the clan families allow us to do is increase the food consumption of your existing clans. So as the number of families increases, the food consumption of that clan increases. Now, having an older clan that has a lot of families isn't just always a bad thing, because these older clans will also have more experience in whatever their discipline is. So it's not a pure negative. And that will decrease the number of turns it takes you to train them in certain advanced professions, which is one of the things that kind of drives the whole game. So there's kind of a trade-off there between the older clans eating more food, but allowing you to train them in better things. So you always kind of want to get more clans, because the new ones that show up don't eat very much food compared to the other ones that you've had for a while. But you also want older clans that you can do stuff with quicker, because you can only train one clan at a time. So if it takes you 10 turns to train a single clan, you know, that's forever. So, alright. Anyways, now I can go back to the game here. My brain is serial as opposed to multi-threaded, so I can only think about one thing at a time here. So we need to pick somebody to start studying. Now, there's a lot of options here, but I'm seeing these 2 bandit camps here, and I don't like that one bit. That's not so good. That means we're kind of in danger a little bit here. So I think we kind of want to go for honor, and then train some archers, or at least one that can kind of defend our little peninsula here from enemies. Go ahead and end our turn. Alright, so we trained honor, and another new clan showed up. You can see over here on the right, new clan in 1 turn. One of our new fancy little icons, along with a giant tooltip, which again will be cleaning up a little bit and not making so incredibly long. Go ahead and check out our new clan. They are also afraid of fire, like our new scout, and they're also afraid of water. Afraid of fire and afraid of water, okay. They will not be an elemental wizard. Alright, so let's see here. Well, one thing I definitely wanted to do was get a surveyor online. So Pepjin, you could be a surveyor. One of the things you can see here is that Pepjin, his cost to train, which is in the tooltip here right next to the cursor, is 1 tool. So tools are a new resource that are required for training most professions. Not all of them, but maybe 75% of them. No military warrior professions like archer, but for things like the surveyor or weaponsmiths or meat cutters, butchers, that sort of thing, you need tools. And you need iron ore to make tools, so that's hopefully what some of our minerals are here. So, alright, surveyor. Vander is looking pretty good for a crafting profession. +5 levels, that's really good. It also means he will get very pissed if we don't put him in that, so we'll need to keep that in mind. Alright, here is our scout, though. So our scout is done. We generally want to follow along the hills, if we can find any here. It doesn't look like there are any nearby. There's one up here, but we're not going that direction. So we'll just go ahead and move on. Let's see, left or right? I usually like moving along the coast because you can see along the coast in other directions, like this way, but I think I'm going to go this way because I know there's more stuff down here. So the berries. Oh, more trees. Alright, so maybe I chose poorly. Whatever. It's the trade-off of this game. Sometimes the game is just like, no, you made the wrong choice. Sorry. Alright. So it's time to study a new profession. We talked about archers. Archers would probably be pretty good to get fairly early. We may not need them right away, but it's never a bad thing. And like I said, I don't want to torture you all with me thinking for 5 minutes after every move. So we'll run with that and kind of deal with what comes here. Okay, so I can give a clan 2 levels in honor. Now, let's see. Fortunately, Pepjin actually would have been a pretty good archer because of his extra movement. Vander, we definitely don't want. Rock would not be great because of the afraid of water. 3 turns need to enter a small river, so if there are any rivers around here, that's gonna really suck. So maybe Bertram. Oh boy, that's a hard decision. You know, I think I'm just gonna do Rock. Oh, it looks like that didn't work. Okay. Huh. I lost my little thing. I must have gone the wrong way. Okay. Well, anyways, that was a bug. There's a reason why it says alpha version here at the bottom of the screen. But I guess that prevents us from having to worry too much about that, at least at the moment. So, something to add to my list to fix. Okay. Anyways, we'll go ahead and end our turn and move on. Alright, so it's finally warming up a little bit. The fact that it was cold and now it's finally turning a little bit green around here means that we're probably fairly north, which means it's going to get cold and not so pleasant at a certain point. So I feel like, let's see, pigs. We can put a pasture on those pigs and eat them. We can also eat the honey here. In the beehive. So we have to decide kind of what we want to do on the food front. You can see over here on the right we have 7, this icon means stored turns of food, and we're losing 1 each turn. So as I'll go ahead and mouse over this in case anybody wants to read it and pause the video. The basic idea is that food is now stored in stored turns instead of just a specific quantity, and part of that is because the food costs ramp up pretty dramatically now thanks to the families, and I didn't want people counting out, well, okay, I need 54 food and I have 396 food, how many turns does that give me? And if I increase my food by 42 per turn, what does that do? You know, I don't think that's as interesting gameplay. So the way it works is you produce a certain amount of food, you consume a certain amount of food, and then however much excess you have compared to how much you actually eat is stored as stored turns, and then that's kind of your stockpile to survive through the winter. So we have 7, you know, that's enough for, I don't know, to get us through the summer maybe, but that's not enough for the year, so we kind of want to get the ball rolling there, I think. Now I think what I'm going to do is start hunting these pigs, because pigs produce meat, and meat is a lot of food. So something I think I will want to do is get somebody trained as a hunter, which we can start doing pretty much right away. So there's some strategy in terms of when you start collecting food and how much you collect when, but I'm not going to worry about that right now because, again, that's kind of a thing that you kind of sit there and put your hands in your forehead and think really hard about, so I'm not going to bother you guys with that. Anyways, we have our surveyor here. We can actually start identifying the deposit we're sitting on right now. Might as well do that. Hopefully it's iron or something fancy. Maybe some gold, something really helpful. Okay, so we entered this deserted location, aka Goody Hut. Alright, Scout finds a barely legible map revealing other deserted locations nearby. That is quite nice. I actually don't mind that at all. So there's one here, and there's a couple more over here. Alright, so nothing else nearby. Fortunately, the bandits are right here, so that's going to make it a little bit challenging. Oh, hello. Yep. So we have some new art for the bandits, as you know, along with a lot of other things. You'll notice the interface has kind of changed its layout a little bit. That will probably continue to change. This is still a placeholder UI. The stone look, we're going to switch to something that's probably more metallic, a little bit more barbaric, if you will, instead of civilized like the Romans. So we our scout here, you can see our power is only 1, their power is 3, and they're fortified. If they come attack us, they'll lose that, but in any case, we don't want to get too close. Fortunately, there's a lot of forest nearby. Our scout can move through it like nothing. As you can see here, you know, click on our scout and mouse over the forest, and the bottom right says 1 move point to enter. It's because it's scout. Scouts are really swift. These guys have to spend all their movement points at their forest, so as long as we don't get too close, we'll be safe. Okay, so that may be about it for this turn. We're researching our archer. We have a hunter in 2 turns. Hunter. Okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and move on here. Alright, Clan Kyle has joined our tribe. And they are good with plants. I recognize the icon, but for your guys' benefit, see green and good with plants. So, it would have been nice if there hadn't been that bug and we could have switched him to honor, because he would be done already. Get the ball rolling on that, but so it goes. Okay, so orders needed. Our scout is here. We don't want to die, so we will steer a little bit clear of the bandits. There's another deserted village here, which I like to see, but we'll stay in the forest for now. Oh, crap. Okay. More bandits. Alright, I think our choice to go for archer early was a good one. I tend to neglect that perhaps a little bit more than I ought to, but not this time, which is good. So, playing a little bit safer this time. Usually a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. Push my luck. Okay. Alright, I think that's about it for this turn. Oh, no. Okay, so he attacked us. We survived, but not in terribly great shape. You can see our health is 34%. Our morale is 36%. His is 72 and 58. So his power 1.2, ours 0.1. Yeah, that's not so good. Oh. Alright, well, this could turn sour in a hurry, guys. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I think we want to try to get away. Gosh, so many bandits. Alright. So bandits are a little bit crazy. Sometimes they'll come after you, sometimes they won't. We're gonna go this way and try to get away and hope that we don't die. Come back down here for just a sec. So there's a lot of animals, that's good. A lot of berries, a lot of people that want to kill us, not so good. So like I was saying, the bandits are a little bit crazy. They sometimes will come after us, sometimes they won't. They can go through moods. Like in the winter, they can get angry, and then you'll see a little angry face after them. That means they're coming for you. You know, doesn't matter what the situation is. You could have some knights, and they could, you know, be one lone bandit here. They're coming for you. So hopefully, cross the fingers, they don't come after us. And then, you know, Clan Lothar here, so young, so inexperienced, doesn't die. All right, so we can now train archers. It's our giant wide tooltip, just to make sure we have enough room for all our words, because I like words. No, we'll make sure to fix that. So we can now train archers. There are now notifications that tell you when you finish certain things, like training or research projects. Alright, so anyways, we have a new clan, Ambitious and Brown Thumb. So they will not be agriculture, but they are going to be good at most other things. Alright, we have our hunter here. This is our new hunter. We're using up our weapons. We're down to 3. So that's not so great. We used 1 on our scout. Scout can fight archer, or sorry, the hunter here. Hunters can actually also fight. You'll see they have 1 power as well, which isn't much, but they can go around and pillage things. They can defend themselves. So unlike other foragers, they can actually do a little bit of exploration and kind of defend if absolutely necessary. You don't really want them to. Let's see. Okay, so now it's time for some more research. Huntsman. Increase the amount of meat we get from hunters, but uses weapons. We don't have weapons to spare, so I don't think we want to do that. I think what we may want to do, though, is start collecting that honey, because we can turn honey into alcohol, and you can use alcohol for a number of things, including to feed to your bards, and they can produce more fame for you. Okay, so agriculture. Show more. I usually like to show more on the study screen. By default, it doesn't show too much because we don't want to overwhelm people, but you can see here, these are the things we'll get to next. The things that are lit up are the things we can research right now. So agriculture we can do, and then beekeepers. Increase the output of your apiaries. So perhaps that would be good to build an apiary on that and get even more honey. So we could send a gatherer to collect the honey, or we can build an apiary and get a lot of honey. So I think maybe we can go ahead and do that since we don't have to worry about food with our hunter here. So I will go ahead and actually make Vander a wood collector. So wood collector is a foraging profession that can collect wood. So that's good news for us. And so we'll go ahead and do that. They can start get the ball rolling there. And I think that's it for this turn. Oh yeah. Pray for Lothar, everyone. Well, no, that's gonna end. Goodbye, Lothar. Goodbye. Alright, I'm going to actually step away for just a second. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I guess one of the downsides of running an indie studio is that you don't have to do not disturb signs, but we will make do. Okay, so let's see, what do we got here? Ominous plumes of smoke have been seen rising from a nearby peak. Oh, that's fun. Okay, that's off in the middle of nowhere. Okay, well, we don't need to worry about that. That's very far distance. Okay, caravan is here. That's very good, because we will want some more people to fight for us. Okay, so 2 levels in agriculture will abandon their profession if another discipline. Alright. Let's see. Well, we don't want to do him. No. So I can actually give +2 levels to the to Clan Kyle, which is already in agriculture, but I'm not sure what to bother with that. Rock doesn't have any biases. I think I might go ahead and do it with Rock and see if we can start building up a little beekeeper empire here with apiaries and whatnot. Okay, so we can start foraging for food with our hunter. Each turn spent foraging will produce 4 meat. That's a lot of food for our little fledgling tribe, so we can go ahead and start doing that. You can see our food here now is we're now producing +4.7 stored turns each turn, because before we were making nothing and now we're making a lot. So it shows the specific math there if you're curious. Well, actually, it looks like it's not. Oh, another bug. Another one for the list. Yeah. Anyways. Alright, so this is Vander. They are, let's see, wood collectors, so we'll get them started up this way. So you can see our hunters now foraging here. They'll have animations like the surveyor and scout eventually. Oh boy, this is looking treacherous. I'm gonna need to get things rolling here on the military currently. Nobody's business. Alright, shrink that screen back down. Alright, so this is the new caravan screen. The old one was virtually indecipherable, but tried to make it a little bit easier to use now. Alright, so one of the cool new features that we added with the caravan is specials. So you can see at the top here, horses and armor are highlighted in green, and that means they are on special. So that could be a good thing, that can be a bad thing. In this case, horses normally aren't sold by caravans, but this one is, and you can spend 4 treasure, used to be called wealth, now it's treasure, to buy a horse, and you can train that horse as a war horse. You can use it to pull plows as an upgrade. You can eat them, because some people eat horses, especially if you have nothing else to eat. And armor is also on special. This caravan has 4 additional armor on sale, and you can buy for a discount of 15 treasure. So normally, it costs, as it says, normally costs 30, but now it's on sale for 15. We have 5 treasure to spend, so we're not going to be buying any armor. What we need is weapons. So we can buy 1 for 3. And then, so we need 5 weapons in order to train an archer. And so we need a little bit more here. We don't have much to sell, unfortunately. I think we might need to sell a tool. So we can sell a tool for 1.5. Oh, I don't think that's quite enough, is it? No, I need 4, don't I? No, wait. 1 for 3. Oh, yeah. Okay, that's right. I can do math. Alright, so we have our 2 weapons that we need now. That is good news. Alright, so this one, Aldemar, is probably better suited to be our archer. So we will go ahead and get them started as an archer. So we were planning on rock earlier, but I don't like this afraid of water, because there are rivers. There are rivers out there somewhere, even if we can't see them, and I don't want my military to be afraid of water. It's just a bad combo. So Aldemar, not good at plants. We have other plant stuff we want to do, and they're ambitious, so that will kind of get them moving sooner rather than later. So we need to study something new. We want farmers, but we also need some timber in order to build a farm on that apiary. But I think, let's see, what will the timing be on that? That's probably fine, I think. We could also get a wood bundler, and that will increase the output of our wood collectors. So that is an option, but I think for now I'm just going to go for the farmer, and if our timing doesn't work out quite right, so it goes. We'll try to get some wood collected here. Well, let's see, how much is that going to do? Forage. Produces 3 timber, and we need 30 to build an apiary or a farm. Yeah, that's not going to work. Alright, so I lied. I did a little bit of math. Let's see. You know, maybe I could do it this way. I could do cost to train 10 cloth. Oh boy, beekeeper, 10 cloth. Alright, that's right. Forget how to play my own game sometimes. Let's see. You know, I think I will. I'll try to go for the wood bundlers because just a lot of things to think about here now. It's that kind of game. All right, end the turn. Caravan is gone. So sad. But we have meat, and we may switch clans discipline, and we have a new clan that's joined us. Okay, so we can get Vander foraging. Minius looking a little gruff. And we have a lot of placeholder art in the game. Kind of goes without saying. So we have, looks like Aldemar here has our actual in-house produced artwork. Everybody else is placeholder. Pepjin's placeholder. Adalbert is actually real. Vander's placeholder. I believe our long-lost clan is gone. Yeah, that reminds me, I guess. Another new cool feature here, I'll go ahead and show off briefly, is note mode. So if you click this, or if you hit F5, you can actually write notes to yourself. So I could write, for example, wood bundlers, enter, then let's see, what was I doing? Farmers, then beekeepers. Keepers. There we go. Okay. So then, when the game saves, if I load, these notes will be back here. I can reorder them if I want to do beekeepers first, for example. You know, we'll polish up the interface for this, but I thought it was a really cool feature because as somebody who thinks way too much, this allows me to think a little bit less and you know, kind of save my thoughts, my plans for what I want to do down the road. Okay, so crafting is done. Wood bundlers are next. May switch clan. We'll go ahead and pick somebody this time so that we can avoid that bug from earlier. Arminius likes animals, but I'm afraid Arminius is going to not get to do that. I think Arminius is probably going to get to help us produce some wood. So Arminius, you are now different. We've switched you to crafting. Okay, so archers in 2 turns. We have some foragers going, surveyors going. Alright, I think that's probably it for this turn. Okay, we've identified an iron deposit. Alright, that's good news. I like to see that. Okay, orders needed for a surveyor. We can get to... Let's see, we lose our next turn if we enter the marsh now. This takes 3 moves to enter. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. You know, I think I'm going to do this one on the hill first, because if the marsh freezes over, then we can go ahead and move on to that during winter and not lose our movement points. So it's early July. The timing, I think, will just about work out. We're pretty far north again, so that would work. Alright, everything is going along smoothly. Our stored turns are increasing quite nicely. Our timber is now going up, so we can hopefully get our apiary online here soon. Alright, Archer. Clan Aldemar. Alright, we're trusting in you, Aldemar. You're outnumbered by 5 to 1, I think. Or at least 4 to 1, so good luck. Fortunately, we should be in a good position defensively, at least, because there's just a lot of stuff down here. There's a lot of forests, and if we fortify, for example, here, enemies can't get around us due to zone of control. They have to attack through us, and if we're defended in our territory, they're out of their territory. It's a really good position for us. So one unit can hold off a ton. So I'm not too worried about that. All right, surveyor. Oh, That's right, he's vigorous. Ugh. See, this is, if I were paying more attention, if I were playing at my normal pace, I would notice that vigorous, plus 1 move, so we actually have 1 move left over to start doing this right away. So, that was a very good move. Good job. Good job, John. Only I actually intended to do that. Okay. So, what we can do next here is, if we just click on Train Plan, we can see what we can build right away, what we have the resources to do. We're out of weapons, so we can't do a scout, a hunter, or an archer now. We can do all these other ones, though, because we still have tools. Gather can start collecting the honey, but we don't want to do that. We want an apiary from a farmer. We can train another wood collector. Actually, it wouldn't be a terrible idea, but I think I'm going to train a digger? Am I? What am I doing? So a digger is a forager that can start collecting iron, so they can just start basically digging it up from the ground instead of a miner building a mine on it, which again requires timber. So we probably want to be completely honest, we probably should have gone loggers in this game and built a logging camp down here, because loggers can produce a lot of timber. But we're not going to worry about that too much. That's one of the things about the kind of the changes that we've made to the game. There are a number of situations where you'll play and then realize, oh man, I should have done this. And that's kind of cool because it gives you a reason to go back and try something new or replay the same game. Okay, so what did we want to do here? I think we get Arminius going as a second. You know, I think I may just do this. No, I can't, because the wood bundler is going to take longer. Alright, I'm going to do Bertram as a digger. So we can start collecting iron, and then we can turn that iron into tools with a blacksmith. So, that's the plan. Let's see if it works. New turn, early August. Aldrich, more agriculture. Oh my goodness. Everybody's green. We're going to have to make somebody sad here. Alright. Now train wood bundlers. Arminius, you will be our wood bundler. So it only takes us 1 turn to train him. Normally it would take 3 turns. For example, if I traded train with Kyle, 3 turns. Because they, as it says at the bottom here, base cost of 1 turn. So never lower than that. 1 turn for switching disciplines. 1 turn for the level difference. So since we have to switch disciplines and we are at the right level, we can just start training Arminius as a wood bundler right away. Okay, so our archer will continue down the coastline here. This is our digger. He can start digging away. So my other team members just give me all sorts of grief about using diggers instead of just building miners, and just building apiaries, and just building loggers. You know, just they don't like the foragers, and that's. You know, I think that's cool that you can have those different strategies, that you can have different approaches that are both valid. I'm fine using both. I feel like, you know, if I can start getting something online earlier, then that will help me do something else later, so I'm not losing that much, but I can see it both ways, and I look forward to seeing kind of how that strategy discussion plays itself out after release. Okay. Alright, we're ready to research something else that's new. Okay, now I think we're ready for farmers. And go ahead and end the turn. Alright. So I think we actually saw some rain here earlier, but this is another new feature of the game. We adjusted the weather system a little bit such that it's a little bit more unpredictable, or a little bit more natural. Before it was very, very much fixed to temperature and climate, so it would always be a blizzard in, you know, Norway in January. Now that's not always the case. It's more likely to be, you know, blizzard regions or rain regions in England, for example, during certain parts of the year, but it's not guaranteed. We want there to be a little bit more variety. So rain is a cool new type of weather. It blocks your vision. It also slows down your movement, which isn't really a big deal up here because there's so many trees. Jeez, these trees. Okay. We can keep moving down the neck here of our little peninsula. It's nice having a little peninsula here. It makes it very defensible. The worst thing is when you just get snuck on by bandits or something. It just ruins your game. Just soul crushing. Okay, so we could start training something new. Arminius, our wood collector, is online. Let's see. What can we train right now? We can train a digger. We can train a wood bundler, wood collector. Wood bundlers actually take 5 tools, so that ate up a good chunk of our tools. We only have 6 left, so we don't want to train many or any more of those. I think I might do another wood collector, to be quite honest. Again, this is not exactly the optimal way of doing things, but for the benefits of the viewing audience, I will not do what I would normally do. End turn. Early September. Caravan has arrived. Expect a warm winter. Okay. Winter will be warm. Okay, so that means that it won't get cold as soon, and it won't stay cold as long. So that's not terrible. Okay, so our archer here, we'll go ahead and move him like so. Maybe I should have gone this way. There's all these deserted locations here, and I just can't get to them because these bandits are everywhere. I need to get some more archers online here. Need to start getting that ball rolling. But I also want the apiary, I want the beekeepers. There's just this is honestly probably the biggest change to the game since the last Let's Play video. There's just a lot to think about. There's a lot to consider. There's a lot of different strategies. And you could just plow forward kind of like I'm doing here and just kind of letting things happen as they come. But you can also be a little bit more picky about how everything lines up and how everything is put together. So I could have been very particular, built only loggers, got archers up online sooner, kind of neglect the apiary because we have food from the hunter here. So there's a lot of things that we can do that we don't have to worry about so much for this playtest. So new caravan is here. Alright, we'll deselect the weapons. Horses. More horses again. Lucky us. We have no treasure though. We could sell some iron. I don't think we want to do that. We could sell some tools. We definitely don't want to do that now. Selling that one earlier was already painful. Timber, we could. We're producing 5 per turn, as you can see here on the right. But we don't really want to do that right now either. It'd be nice if we could get some more weapons to build an archer, but we need 5. 15 treasure, we're not going to get 15 treasure. We could sell maybe everything. Yeah, maybe if we sold everything we could buy that much. We're not going to do that. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. We can now train farmers. Alright, so we have another wood collector up online. So we can go ahead and get them started. Alright, this one just finished chopping down this forest. You can see it turned from forest to brush here. So brush slows down your movement a little bit. You can hear the wind rustling a little bit as well. It's now late September. Winter is coming. I don't know how many times people are going to make that joke. More than they should. Okay. We'll keep him moving around. We don't have to worry about winter arriving just yet, so we can at least block off the pass here, do a little bit of exploring. We might need to withdraw a little bit and defend our choke point here. So we did lose that scout early, which really sucks, but we aren't completely screwed. We can at least defend ourselves, unless they just show up with a bunch of cavalry or something. Okay, so Kyle and Adalric are both identical. So this won't be the case in the final version of the game. We're gonna have a lot more traits. My hope is to have at least 80 or 100 different traits. Right now we only have about 1/4 that. And So right now they're identical. Doesn't really matter. Might as well just pick one to be a farmer. And we should have some more timber online soon. Both of our foragers are just moved, so we need 30 to build an apiary or a farm. And we won't have that quite yet, but we will very soon. Alright, so studying. What do we want to do next? Beekeepers need cloth. Cloth is expensive. We don't have cloth. I think what we need are some blacksmiths to make us some more tools. Because we are, I think, out? No, we're not out. We're almost out. We are nearly out of tools. What we need is a farmer take. Who wrote these tooltips? 3 tools. Okay, so we have 2 left. And we need to get a blacksmith online to start building more tools, because we're going to not be able to build anymore. And that was the last caravan of the year. That was last turn, so we need to get the ball rolling on that. We have a supply of iron, so we're not in terrible shape. Okay. Alright, so we found some stone. That'll be good. There's not a ton that you can do with stone in the early game. There are a few things, like you can train bakers, bread makers, colliers, those sorts of professions that can convert resources or boost your food production. But we don't really need that right now, so we're probably just going to sell our stone to the caravans, and then we can buy things that we need. Okay, so Kyle is our farmer, and we want to build a farm here, or an apiary, I should say. Farmers can build apiaries as well. Unfortunately, we can't do it just yet. We need 8 more timber, but I think we will have that next turn if we can. Alright, you're done. Let's see, okay, farmer, can't do anything this turn, so we'll skip. Alright, yes, haha, timing, perfect timing. So it just went to early October, it got cold, so this marsh is now cold, so it's kind of frozen over, basically, or hardened, if you will. And we can move into it with only 1 move point and start identifying. Normally, if you move into a marsh, it takes all your moves, so we timed that just perfect. Just perfect. Okay, so you can see the orange crates here mean we are starting to run out of supply, which is not what we really want to see. If I were being bold, I would head off this way and explore a little bit, but I'm not that bold. I don't want to get destroyed by the bandits in a Let's Play video, so I'm going to start heading back to my own territory where I can defend and not have to worry about supply. Okay, back to research. Blacksmith. Blacksmith's online. Okay, so new clan, Adeland. Thumbs down, that means disobedient. Does not want honor, and gentle. Likely growing happy in a warrior profession. So this Adeland really, really does not want to be a warrior. He just wants to kind of sit at home. Or just do something that doesn't involve fighting other people. So, this is the point at which things start getting a little dicey because we don't have enough tools to really start doing a whole lot anymore. Okay, so we can actually give Adeland some bonus levels in metalworking if we wanted him to be a metalworker, which actually may not be a bad, terrible thing. I think we'll go ahead and do that. So he is now blue. He can be our blacksmith. Unfortunately, it's going to take 3 turns to research, so again, our timing was not quite great, so I think we're going to be out of luck a little bit here for a few turns. We could train another wood collector, but that'll eat another tool, surveyor. That'll also cost us, you know, Adalric would be nice as a beekeeper. Oh gosh. This is the point at which things start getting tricky, because you have things kind of lined up the way you want them. We want Adalric to be our beekeeper, Arminius is already our wood bundler, Adeland is going to be our blacksmith, We don't get a new clan for another 6 turns, because we haven't been focusing on fame just yet. And, yeah, it just kind of sucks at the moment, you know? But sometimes you gotta bite the bullet. So this would be the point at which my teammates might tell me, you know, just sit tight, just wait it out. That's not how I roll. I'm actually going to train another wood collector, doing it because we have our wood bundler online, and so that means all of our wood collectors produce even more. So we're producing 10 now. We could be producing 15 timber per turn. We certainly have plenty to spare in the area, and we can be selling it and make some money off of that, and then buy the things we need, like the cloth that we need to train the beekeeper. So I think that's a good move. I'm gonna do it, and nobody's gonna stop me except the game, which could punish me terribly. Okay. Alright, now we can start building our apiary. Unfortunately, the problem is it's winter, and winter is harsh, and bees do not really produce honey during winter. They kind of just sit around and eat the honey that they've already made. So that is not great timing on the part of yours truly, but that's okay. I'm just going to just bite the bullet and do it anyways. Again, keep things moving. Okay, so things are red, supply critical. Ah, bad news. All right, time to retreat, I would say. So this grass tile, or this fertile tile here, is not affected by winter just yet. It's cold, but there's still enough food because it's not rough terrain. So I'm actually just going to fortify here, and then I might sneak out a little bit next turn, or I might back up. We'll see. If somebody pops out of the trees here, we'll have a better idea what to do. Otherwise, I might scoot out a little bit more to kind of see what's going on. I don't know. Maybe it's foolish. Maybe it's foolish. Maybe I should just hunker down. I think I should. All right, fine. I'm gonna be a wuss. Okay. I think that may be good for this turn. It's wet. This is very. It's very much like I don't know, like the coast of Norway or something up here. Lots of trees. I guess we don't have any mountains. It's wet and lots of forests. I like it. There's a lot of character in these maps. Alright, we have another wood collector online. That's what I like to see. Alright, so this is all looking a little snowy, but that's okay because we're in our own territory, so we don't have to worry so much. Okay, there would have been snow there on that tile where we left Aldemar Archer, so I'm just going to fortify right here. Over time, our fortification bonus is going to increase, and yeah, that's good news for us because if somebody does pop out, then we're going to be really well protected. I would like another scout, but man, I don't think we can get through this gauntlet. This is a tough one. Which I don't mind. I like the tough starts. These are fun. Okay, settlement is idle. Blacksmith in one more turn. Crap. Okay, so timing is not great. Maybe we can pack up and move a little bit. At least one tile. Let's see, what would our borders look like here? Would be a little bit different, not much. Might as well though. There's not much up here. Yeah, so I'm gonna pack up. So that we can't train anything with the turn we're packed up. That's the tooltip. So hopefully informs us. And the next turn we can unpack on this tile and start training our blacksmith. Yes! It's a present! What's inside? Actually, no, sorry, this is just our placeholder art. This is, I want to make sure that we could tell the difference between the two, because before we were like borrowing art, like we were using the farm for the apiary, and you couldn't tell. It's like, was this done or not? And now you can tell for sure. when something is done or not. And again, alpha game, all that nonsense. But we'll get all done. But right now, it's just not as big a priority as making the game fun. So we'll get there, though. Alright. So we unpacked. We can now start training our blacksmith. Yes, we need a blacksmith. Adeland, you don't want to fight. Good, you can make tools. That works for me. Forage. Look at all this timber. Oh, yes. 15. 15 per turn. I like the looks of that a lot. Study. Okay. Okay, this is now the point at which... Let's see, 1 turn on our blacksmith. Okay, that's right. Okay. Need to start thinking about what our upcoming strategy is going to be here. I think maybe the beekeeper. Let's see, how much timber will we need to sell to buy 10 cloth? So 10 cloth will cost us 30 treasure. That's a lot of treasure. And timber goes for 0.5, so we'll need to sell 60 timber. We're making a lot. Late November. You know, I think we can pull that off. I think we can pull that off because the next caravan, I believe, shows up in early March or late February, something like that. And then we can buy the 10 cloth we need by selling a bunch of timber. So that may work out well for us. But we also... So our rate of clan accrual has slowed down considerably. We need to get some fame online here. I think I may train a Feastmaster. So Feastmaster is one of the new professions. Feastmaster allows you to turn 1 food into 2 fame, which is good. We have a lot of food to go around because of our hunter. It's generally better to get your Feastmaster online early so that you're not wasting as much food, because once you go above 24 stored turns of food, then you lose half of it. But again, we won't worry too much about that for this video. If you want to read the details on that, you can pause the video here on this tooltip. Otherwise, we will continue onward. So many wood collectors. This is another thing about the game as well. Is you get to a certain point and you're like, okay, how do I figure out what to do with all my people? So you have like 3 wood collectors going and a wood bundler, and you're like, oh man, I don't have enough clans to train. I'm like, well, it's because you have 3 wood collectors, dummy. That's how it goes. So. Yeah, up to this point, there's been kind of a big focus on kind of the resources and the professions. There'll be more of an emphasis on the specific individual clans going forward. So there's been, normally clans will have requests and they'll get into feuds and things like that. We've been, I guess, lucky or unlucky, depending on how you look at it, and haven't had to worry about any of that in this game, but normally they pop up here as notifications. We'll be integrating that a lot more into the game as we continue development. There will be a lot more personality. They'll pop up, they'll have actual personalities and dialogues, that sort of thing. But for now, it's much more focused on the professions and the resources and that sort of thing, but that won't always remain the case. We just need to put a little bit more time into enhancing the clans aspect of the game. So we have the clans, we have their personalities, we have traits and stuff. We just need to kind of bring it out a little bit more. Okay. So everybody is trained, everybody's kind of working. I think I might just pack up and keep moving down with my settlement here, because we have 2 turns, so 1 turn to pack up, 1 turn to move. It'll cost us to move into the forest, but that's 2 turns. 2 turns of the Feastmaster, 2 turns on a new clan, and we can start training somebody right away. So I like those numbers. Nice, even, round numbers. Okay, identified an iron deposit. More iron, so we have iron, iron, and stone. Alright. Our settlement, as we talked about. No, our surveyor is done. And there's other things we could survey down here, but if we want them to die, we would send them that direction, and that's not generally something I'd like to do. So I think I'm going to not do that. And there's nothing else really nearby to survey, so I think I'm going to actually retrain Pepjin as something else. And the question is, what? So Pepjin, we can rejoin. So Pepjin now, you can see here, we can return to map. Or we can start retraining them as something else, but not quite yet because we're still packed up. We can't train anybody, as we've talked about, so everything's grayed out. And a digger might be the right way to go because we have all those extra minerals. A miner would be nice. A miner would be nice. I don't know. We'll see next turn. We'll decide. So this is the study research screen. Miners in 3 turns to learn that profession. We want to start a feast master next turn. We'll see what the next turn comes. It's looking awful cold and nasty outside, so early January. Yeah, there's some blizzards. Oh boy. Yeah, we're in an unpleasant corner of this world, friends. This is not where you want to be. Okay, what do we got here? Alright, looks like rock depleted this tile, so we can send rock further down. Yeah, bad timing on the movement. Actually, no, I guess we would have 3 moves anyways. He just chopped down this forest, so it would have been easier to move through, but it was snowy anyway, so it cost us all 3 moves. Anyways. Yes. Okay, Clan Ralph has joined our tribe. Ralph is aggressive and simple. And so what that means is does not want to be in a civilian profession and does not want to be in discovery. So Ralph, you want to be a warrior? Sorry, you're going to be a feast master. Bad news. Well, let's see. Hopefully that works out. Okay. Not training anything. 3 turns on the miner, 3 turns on the feast master. That would probably line up, and then we can build maybe a mine on that, and then have Bertram over here continue to dig up some more iron for us. So we have a good amount of iron built up, starting to get some tools back online, which is good. Okay, so Vander has finished chopping down this forest. We'll keep that moving down. We have to retrain some of these wood collectors here soon, but that's okay. We have the 60 we need to get the cloth for the beekeeper. Alright, what do we got here? Alright, so back up to 15 timber per turn. That's what we like to see. Okay, anything else we want to do? I don't think so. Okay. This turn as well. Alright, so we've depleted our iron here, or degraded, I should say. But that doesn't shut it down immediately. It just means that we produce half as much. So we were producing 2 before, now we're only producing 1 from this deposit. Okay. So, that's it for this turn as well. Okay, there we go. Now we have some things cooking. Feastmaster's feasting. Producing us some fame, that's very good. Although it may actually be bad once our hunter runs out. I think our hunter's just about done, yeah. We've hunted all the pigs. What have we done? We've killed them all. Okay, this guy's chopped down all the trees here. Alright, we need a new miner. Pepjin would not be the best miner, but he might be the most convenient. Although, let's see, Aldrich might be better. Well, that was kind of a mistake because we moved him like that. Alright, I'm going to demonstrate something that nobody should ever copy, which is the reloading tactic. One I am sure that people will utilize in this game. We're going to move Aldrich here instead. Rejoin. And then Aldrich, instead of returning the map, you will be a miner. So, yeah, this is in a game where strategy is important to that extent. It's easy to get in a situation where it's like, oh yeah, oh I shouldn't have done that. Oh, I'm just gonna go back to that previous save. That's fine. So we have plenty of timber. We still have 2 wood collectors going. I would like to use Pepjin for something where we can take advantage of this really good trait. Vigorous is a really nice one. So I don't waste that on a miner that's just gonna sit there on the stone for whatever, too long. Okay, so let's see. Time to pick new research. I think it's time for some beekeepers, because soon we're gonna have enough cloth to train one. Alright. Clan in 1 turn. Oh no, production of fame has been slowed due to shortage of source materials, so I think we stopped producing food from our pigs. So I didn't plan that out very well now, did I? Oh well. We can afford to move around a little bit more. We won't have to hopefully encamp every single turn. Alright, beekeepers in 2 turns. So boards. Alright, boards are on special, quote unquote. This caravan actually lacks boards, but because it lacks boards, we can actually sell it for additional profit. Normally it's 4, we could actually sell it for 8. And we don't have any, so it doesn't really matter. And this caravan has horses again. My goodness, so many horses. We're quite lucky if we need horses. But what we actually need is cloth. So something else that cloth is actually used for that isn't going to come up actually here in the first year of the game is the popcap. So something else that we've added to the game is a population cap, and to increase it, as the tooltip says, you have to spend cloth. And every time you spend cloth, it increases the cap by 6. But the amount of cloth you need also increases. So we kind of went back and forth in terms of how to represent this, because cloth is obviously a very important part of our daily lives, and it was for these tribesmen back, 2,000 years ago or so. But you can either attach a cost of cloth to everything in the game, or you can attach it to nothing. It's really hard to represent it as an in-between, because everything needs cloth. Everybody wears clothes, everybody has, sheets and blankets and things like that, tents, whatnot. But, attaching a cost of 5 cloth to every profession in the game is just kind of boring. There's really no point to that. There's no strategy. It's just, okay, well, you need cloth. So we thought about it, and we we decided, you know, as if we want to represent something that always needs cloth, we could just do that in a method like this, where, okay, you need more clans, well, you need more cloth, you need more tents, you need more blankets, you need more this, you need more that. And so this is a more strategic way of implementing it, a more abstract way that doesn't involve just a tax on everything you want to train, everything you want to build, that just kind of is in the way. It's a speed bump as opposed to being something strategically interesting. This popcap, we're getting close to it. We're not quite there yet. We're going to be pretty, you know, right up next to it here in, you know, during this upcoming year that unfortunately we're not going to be able to get to, but that's kind of how it fits into the game specifically. Okay, anyways, back to the game itself. Our hunter is now done hunting. They are finished. There are no more animals for us to hunt. So I think we're going to probably just add them back to the settlement. So that's not ideal, but again, in this version of the game, there's a lot more adding and moving players, or not players, moving clans around between different professions, because you have a particular role that you want for them, like foraging the pigs. You know, that produced a ton of food for us. Like, we're in really good shape here. But now you know, that's it. There's no pigs. We ate all the pigs, or we turned them all into meat, and now it's time to train that clan as something else. And fortunately, we have need for more archers, so we will probably get on that fairly soon. Oops. I did my turn. Didn't need to do that. This is where the notes come in handy. Notes! Don't need these notes anymore. It's not so helpful. Another small feature that I think is pretty cool is that it added an autosave feature, end of previous turn. So if you're like, oh, I ended my turn, I didn't mean to do that, gosh, I want to go to the caravan. Hey, go to the previous turn, go to your caravan. Because I wanted to sell some timber in order to buy enough cloth from our beekeeper. 30? Oh. There we go. So in a game a week or two ago, we were playing the Conifer team, and we were relying on cloth to get beekeepers in that game as well. But the first two caravans of the year, the early March one and the early June one, both of them had specials where they had no cloth, and that really, really sucked. That hurt. Fortunately, not a problem in this game. So we have the 10 cloth we need. That'll be good for the beekeeper in 2 turns. 52 timber still, so that's enough for quite a bit. It might be, oops, wrong button. Worth looking at something else that we might want to pick up. Let's see, weapons 3, so 3 times 5 would be 15. Actually, it says in the tooltip if I read it, costs 15 treasure to buy this caravan's entire supply. So that would be 30 timber. You know, I might just do that. And all the weapons. Yes, okay, so still have a very, very healthy supply of timber coming in. And now I can use that treasure that I just spent to train, for example, Adalbert from a hunter. I can now train them as an archer. And then we can start making some progress here. So maybe I'll extend this playtest a little bit so we can maybe get moving there a little bit. Was only planning on going 1 year, which we've reached, but you know, I kind of want to keep going, so we'll push it a little bit longer until I can exact a little bit of revenge on those silly bandits. So we'll go ahead and camp our archer here. There's nobody nearby, so I'm not too worried about that. We can always withdraw to our own territory if we need to. We're outside of our territory now, so we need to deal with supply. Alright, one turn. New clan, Otokar. Afraid of water and Belligerent. Yes. I like the fisticuffs. That's our fisticuffs icon. Applied to feud with other clans. Well, we had no feud so far, so hopefully that holds true through to the end of our little playthrough here. Go ahead and end our turn then. Alright. There we go. Okay. So, winter is done. Early April. Go ahead and move down our miner. Alright. Miner is going to go and start mining some stone up here. And we have our 5 weapons. Adalbert, you will now be an archer. I like that quite a bit. Would be nice to have spearmen, but 15 turns you can see to research spearmen. And 20 weapons. Their power is significantly better than archers, though. The archers is 3, and the spearmen are 8. So that's a pretty big increase. That's over double, obviously, almost triple. But it's pretty hard to get to. So if we played further, we would probably go for lore keepers, which require parchment to train, or tinkers, which consume tools. So if you have a lot of metal, for example, which we do, if we'd taken better advantage of it, if we'd trained miners, gotten a couple of blacksmiths online, that sort of thing, we could have gotten a lot more out of our iron. And, let's see, we're going to show less here, because we already have quite a bit of choices to pick from. We can now train beekeepers as well. Okay, so, our next research choice. So there's now multiple tiers. I guess I can go ahead and show all here. You can see that they're stacked here. We just finished, miners, I believe. Okay, so miners. Actually, no, we didn't finish miner. We just trained a miner. Now train beekeepers. Haha. Thank you, game. Okay, we finished beekeepers. Alright, so it doesn't lead to anything anyways. Well, we just finished miners before that. Once we've learned miners, we can then learn the smelter profession. And as you can see here, the effect of that, +5 iron from iron mines. Iron mine V2s, V3s, and V4s. Those will have real names. So what happens? You guys want playtests? You guys want videos? This is what you get. You get Iron Mine V3s. Game is not done. What can I say? All right. Smelters. So smelters increase the iron output of your iron mines. So normally an iron mine would produce 3. Our digger here is only producing 2, or would be if it hadn't been degraded already. So that increases it from 3 to 8. That's a lot of iron. There's some other examples here. For example, the toolsmith would be nice. Costs 5 tools to train, but produces 4 tools, or 4 tool from 4 iron each turn. So the big advantage of that, it's the same efficiency ratio of 1 iron to 1 tool, but you're using fewer clans. Normally you would have to have 4 blacksmiths to produce that many tools from that much iron, but instead, if you have 1 toolsmith, boom, that's all you need. So 15 turns, that's quite a few turns, but you can afford that, or, again, you can train a lore keeper or tinker, drop that down to, I don't know, like 5 turns, or 4 turns, or even 3 turns, boom, toolsmith online, off you go. Alright, so I was actually going to pick something, I think. Doesn't matter a whole lot at this stage of the game, I don't think. But I think what I might do is actually train a wood splitter. So what a wood splitter does is it refines timber into boards. And boards are nice because A, you can sell them to a caravan. Very, very good. Boink. Something else you can do is use them to build those things that I talked about earlier, like the, Iron Mine V2. Iron Mine V2 requires 30 boards to build instead of 30 timber. And the advantage of an Iron Mine V2 is that it produces 4 times as much iron, which is really, really nice. So we would need an overseer of the depths, which is a noble profession, which we would need a noble clan, which we would need oil to ennoble them, to anoint them, basically. So there's kind of a chain of things. You know, things kind of connect up, and as you go up the tree. So I won't get into that too much at this point. But the idea is that there are upgrade chains now. There are, as your food costs go up, as your needs for iron and needs for tools and weapons and cloth and oil and those sort of things go up, there are new professions that can really benefit you and produce a lot of those things for you, but it takes work to get to them. So that's kind of the big difference between this version of the game and what we were playing in the last Let's Play video. In the last one, it was just kind of like, you know, you got to a certain point, it was like, all right, well, I kind of did what I needed to do. I have enough food to feed everybody. You know, we're done. Now it's much more acute. It's much more, okay, the difficulty curve ramps up over the game instead of just tapering off and saying, okay, well, you know, you figured out how to feed 20 clans. Good job. You basically won. Now, that is definitely not the case. Now things kind of ramp up. There's always something to chase after, something that you want to get. And that's kind of what comes out of the refinement iteration process of game development. You know, obviously it's taken us a while working on this game, but as you can see, it's coming along. There's a lot here. There's a number of changes from our last Let's Play video, but they're not radical changes. It's refinements, it's tuning of systems, it's addition of resources. It's these small things that you may not think so much about, but when you actually dig down into them, it's a really big deal. It changes the feel of the game, it changes the pace, the flow, and that's what counts in the end. When you're playing a strategy game, that's what matters. If you don't have those things that fit together just perfectly, then you get to the mid-game and you're like, well, this game's done, this game's boring. I've done what I need to do. This game has no more challenges, nothing more interesting to explore or overcome. We don't want that to be at the gates, and it's not going to be at the gates. It's not right now already. So it's taken time to get here, but that's, you know, it's something that's paid off. So anyways, that's enough of my ranting, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands kind of how that process fits in with design and how it leads to a better game. It's not about just taking more time to take more time or taking more time to add more features. It's taking the time to refine what you have and make sure it actually works. And it's something I really wish more developers would do. As a fan and player of games myself, I really wish more developers put in the time to actually polish their games. It's, you know, it's expensive, but it pays off. It's worth it. All right. That's enough for me. Onward. Okay. Orders needed. This guy's done chopping more wood. Just deforesting this entire area up here. We'll work our way down. Is this a hill? No, it wasn't. Okay, good. Alright, our second archer is up. This is what I like to see. You can start bringing the fight to the bandits here a little bit. Alright, we're going to build a stone quarry up here. Start getting some of that stone online so we can build that as well. Alright. Auto car. I would like more weapons, to be quite frank. But, beekeeper? Our apiary? Yeah, that's right. Our apiary is now online, it's producing honey, so we need to get that beekeeper up ASAP. It'd be nice to have that done already. Oh well. Something we could have done is if we'd bought a parchment, we can actually spend parchment and a turn to retrain a clan in that discipline, if I can find the right screen. So for example, train in discipline down here. If we click on that, if we train them in agriculture, for example, it would take one turn, but it would switch them to agriculture and level 2. Also costs a parchment. But the advantage of that is instead of taking 3 turns to train this beekeeper, it will only take 2. 1 turn to switch them, and then 1 turn as the beekeeper specifically. So you save a turn there, you spend a parchment, you save a turn, and those turns can really add up over time. Didn't do it though. Could have sold more timber. Just don't know what I'm doing. Guys, just don't know what I'm doing. Well, one thing I know I'm doing, so I'm going after these bandits. We have an army massing. It's time. More timbers coming in. Okay, 40 turns of iron left, so this iron is depleted twice now, which is not so great. Yeah, we can probably keep digging this iron. That's fine. So it's degraded twice now. So if we continue using this iron up, eventually this is basically it. So the bar empties. If bar empties again, changes color. Bar empties again, changes color. You have 3 bars, 3 emptyings, and then that's it. So each time it reduces by half. So normally it produces 2 when you're digging it, then 1. Now it's 0.5. So we're down to, that's where we are right now. We're using half of that to help build us a tool, and the other half is going in our stockpile, but not enough. Alright, stone quarry. Get some stone. Wood splitter, many, many turns away. But that's okay. We'll be alright. Oh dear. Eastern Roman Empire has been torn apart by civil war. So this is something I'll be showing off in the next update, which is the diplomacy side of the game. So this is something we haven't spent a ton of time on yet. We've been refining the economics, refining the pacing, that sort of thing. But now our focus is pretty much on AI and diplomacy. And that's going to be a lot of fun. So we'll get to show off interactions with other players in the Romans, which we have shown off, I think, literally nothing in these 2 Let's Play videos. We've been stuck on this peninsula so far, but in other games you'll be stuck up right against the Romans, you'll be up against 2 other players, like the Huns. So each game is very, very different. This has a very interesting, fun, unique flavor to it so far. So hasn't been the most, I don't know, perfect game, I guess you could say. We lost a clan down here, our scout, which really stinks. Oh, error. So this is what happens when a deserted location is explored by another player. As you can see, somebody else has found it, and we don't have art for it yet. Oops. Okay. I think that's it for this turn. Our beekeeper's almost online. We'll see what happens to our honey generation. Oh yeah, +7. That's what I like to see. So you can see it's a big, big boost for getting these professions online. So you really want to get them up as soon as you possibly can. And so now our beekeeper's up. We have a bunch of honey coming in. Now would be a really great time to get a profession like the winemaker online. As you can see, winemakers produce alcohol from grapes or honey. So, the wine that we know of from grapes, or mead, which is made from fruit and honey, which is a form of wine. And you can use that alcohol to then train. Bards are the best use, probably. Produces 4 fame, which is really, really quite nice, because our feast masters only produce food, or 2 fame from 1 food. And so if we had some alcohol coming online, that would be great. We have a good stockpile building up here, so we can't complain too much about that. We can now train more clans, though. That's for sure. So, Feastmaster's not doing us much good at the moment. Another scout would be nice. No, I think... yeah, I think another blacksmith is probably called for. Our Feastmaster ain't doing squat for us right now, because I really screwed that up. Because I forgot that I was going to eat all of my pigs, and now all I have is stored food, and Feastmasters want fresh meat, not stored whatevers. But first, we are going to clear up this bandit camp. Visit caravan, yes. Hello. Let's see. We can definitely sell some timber. I think I'd like some parchment. I think I'm going to sell like a bunch of timber. We don't have any structures that are coming online soon, because we're building our quarry here. We already have our apiary. We'll buy some parchment, because that parchment will allow us to more horses. Wow, every time. I wonder if that's a bug. It might be a bug. Anyways, that parchment will allow us to train lore keepers. So I may actually switch gears here. The sly fool that I am. So blacksmith, lore keeper, 4 turns. So turns don't quite line up. I'd also like to have some more cloth, because I'm going to need some cloth to increase my popcap here fairly soon, but not quite yet. I have to get to 14 before that is a problem. So, not a problem yet. Okay, these guys. Aha! We're here! Alright, 6 versus 6, as you can see, is the power forecast. But we're not going to do that. We're going to do something else. But we're going to do that next turn. So, you can hear the sound of the cicadas coming in. It's summer, late June. I love that ambience. It really gives you a feel for those changing seasons as the sound fades in and out. Speaking of which, we will have more music here. Anybody that's watched this Let's Play and the previous one has probably heard our title song now for, I don't know, 2.5 hours or so. I love the song, but we will have more music coming soon. Oh dear, we have new friends. They're coming back home. This must be the guy that killed our friend. Huh. I think we're going. Yeah, we're gonna go in. We're gonna kill this guy. Are we? Yeah. Alright, battle forecast. Enemies wiped out, leaving your victorious army with only a few cuts and bruises. Alright, we squashed him. That beautiful combat animation that will exist, but not yet. Alright, so we squashed him. We got 5 fame out of the deal, which is great, because that helps us get more people. We also get some iron out of it, that sort of thing. So we've wiped out one of our potential enemies here, which is very good. And then next turn, we're going to start laying siege to this bandit camp. And that will be to our benefit because it allows us to not run into these giant jagged spikes, but instead we can starve them out. They can come and fight us if they dare, but that will not end well for them because we outnumber them. Alright, end the turn. Oh dear! Look at all these notifications. Western Roman Empire torn apart with civil war. Don't worry about that. Ralph is a blacksmith. Lore keepers. Ralph is upset. Obsessed with a warrior profession. Ralph, I just made you a blacksmith. Ralph. Ugh. Ralph. All right. So we talked about the clan desires and the feuding system. This is the bit of personality that we have in the game right now. So Ralph, as we said, is aggressive. Will likely grow unhappy in the civilian profession. Well, they just grew unhappy, and they are now blacksmiths. But you know what? They're upset, as you can see here. They are not angry. They are not bitter. Whatever the different happiness levels are. Forget what all of them are. To be quite honest. And that means, well, you can read the effects there on the screen for yourself. But it's not too bad yet. Eventually they'll get upset and just stop working. They'll stop making tools. We don't want that. That's bad. But they haven't reached that point yet. They probably will, though. So, obsessed with, quote-unquote, interest level 4. I will come up with a better way to present that. Don't you worry. That means they're very angry, and they will, well, they're very, very interested in this thing, and they will likely grow angry soon if we don't switch them. So that is something for us to be aware of. Anyways, though, we just finished a lore keeper, and Pepjin would be a perfect lore keeper because he's already a discovery. So we're doing that, and that will let us build or research some other things more quickly, which includes wood splitters, something that we've wanted. Bards are also something that we've wanted. And winemakers would be great too. So, hey, you know what? I talked earlier about how there's a billion things that you want to have in this game, and you can only have so many. This is a great example of that. So wood splitters probably go on the back burner. We have a lot of timber coming in, but we don't need it right away. We have time. Getting the winemakers, getting the alcohol, getting the extra clans, you know, all these things that connect together. That's kind of what we want to get the ball on. All right, so back to our army here. Adelmar and Adalbert. Aldemar and Adalbert. Bit of a tongue twister. Besiege. All right, so we are going to besiege this camp and hope no enemies show up to relieve the siege. I don't think they will. You never know. So, put the big fat target over him so you can see our power is now lower than theirs. It used to be 6 versus 6, now it's 5.2 because we spent some of our health on that other battle. But you know what? We're going to besiege them, and it's going to be bad for them. So, yeah. Bad. You can see here, besieged. Supply available to all bandit armies. Stationed here has been reduced by 1 and 2 remains. So we need a few more turns to starve them out here. It's early August. I think we have time before winter arrives. That's the plan anyways. We will find out. Alright, so our digger finished digging up all the iron. Now it's time to go to the other one. And our quarry started collecting stone. So, yeah. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of resource profession stuff in the game, but there'll be more of an emphasis on the clan stuff later as well. There'll also be different gameplay modes, so if you don't want to worry so much about all this economic stuff, all these numbers, that you can kind of minimize the impact of that. It's not in the game yet, but that is planned, so that if you want to focus more on the diplomacy, on the personality, the desires, the clan interests, and kind of who they are and what they want, you can do that. Or, you know, this is kind of what the default base game version is right now, which is a little bit more focus on this, but it will be a balance. Okay, woodcutters, go forth, settle this idle. Alright, we finished our lore keeper. Let's see, our next project was going to be... I'm trying to recall now. You know. Don't look. Don't look, children. Don't look. Oops. That wasn't what I wanted either. Whoop. So you can see in the world name here, I'll actually mouse over this. Whoa. That looks absolutely ugly. So world ID KCV should be 1 space. I think there's like 6 there or something ridiculous. KCV OVE. This is actually something that we borrowed from other games where the random seed of the game is 6 letters that you can remember and pass around to other people and insert into the game and play on that same world. So we're using this for what we call the group games, which are like in Spelunky or some other games where you have a daily game that everybody can play on the exact same map and see how they do against other players. This is kind of a first step towards that. I don't know why there's 6 spaces in between that. This game's just... my goodness. Okay, so, alright, what I meant to do is I'm actually going to retrain Beartrain as a miner to mine this iron instead. Because we have plenty of timber, we have plenty of tools now. So, oops. Beartram, rejoin, Beartram will be a miner, so that will take us 1 turn, cost us 3 tools, but then we can get more iron out of this this deposit than we would normally. So a forager, a digger, which is what we had, harvests less iron from the tile, but also degrades the tile more quickly, so it's kind of a double whammy. Whereas if you have a mine, you pay that extra timber, you have more tools to train the miner, but there's a benefit to it, and we have the time, we have the resources to afford that, so we will go ahead and go that direction. That's what we want. We can afford it now. We're finally getting things put together a little bit. Oh! Look at that! Somebody! Glenn Landbert! Clovis of the Franks requests an audience with you. Oh, hello, Clovis. May the blessings of God be upon you. What brings you to this divine court? Are you here seeking the light of the true faith? So Clovis is a very pious man, and he is here to tell us, you know, hello, and that we will want to be of the true faith when the time comes. So there's a religious system to the game. It's fairly simple. It's just a matter of, okay, are you of the same religion as the other AI leaders? And if you are, then you get along. If not, then there could be problems. And if you switch away from one, that really makes people upset. So if you were, for example, Nicene Christian, you switch away to something else, you convert, then everybody who was Nicene Christian before is really upset with you. So you kind of want to avoid that if possible. But again, that's something we'll probably focus on more in the next update. So reduced by 2, 1 remains. So our bandit clan Roderick here is fading fast, but it looks like he spawned another friend. There are now 2 bandits here instead of just 1. So, all right, that's something for us to be aware. Okay. That may actually be a problem because you need a certain number of clans in order to continue a siege. All right, our miner is done. Do that. Or settlement is idle. Okay. What do we want to train here? Now, I think I may take this opportunity to go ahead and skip south. Move another tile down because this is a really good choke point here. If we can grab this, then we can retreat our army there, protect what we have. And there's nothing. Next turn we'll have a winemaker that we can train. Not quite yet. Aha. Okay. Expect a frigid winter. Oh dear. That's just not what you want to hear. Am I right or am I right? Okay. So we move down here. Oh, geez. Alright, that didn't work out quite the way I was expecting. Offline, too distant. Stone quarry is not working. So I'm gonna not do that because, yeah. Alright. If I had looked at my preview, I would have known better. So yeah, never mind that. It was a short trip, guys. Winemaker, yes. Alright, so soon we will be making alcohol from all that honey that we have collected. Alright, we have a lore keeper online now, which allows us to do a lot more here than you would possibly think. So this might actually be a good way to go. So Winemaster is another, it's like a next tier of the winemaker. Produces 4 alcohol from 4 honey. Look how much honey we have. We have a lot of honey here, and that's going to pay off for us quite a bit. Especially if we can get a Winemaster online. So I think I'm going to actually train that. And then we can turn 4 of that into 4 alcohol per turn, which we can then sell and do a lot with. So, yes. Ooh, but no, we want a bard. Because the bard will allow us to use the alcohol. Alright, so we'll do the bard first, then we'll do the winemaker. So, ooh. Welcome to At the Gates, friends. Welcome to At the Gates. Alright, so we could sell honey, we can, you know, there's a lot of things that we can do at this point, but I think the main thing is that we need cloth in order to raise that popcap, so we need 5 cloth is all, but, you know, I think we want as much as we can possibly get. So 5 for 15, let's do that. I could sell more timber, I could sell some of that, but I'm just not going to do that. I want to keep some of the timber because I need to build, you know, my iron mine here. Okay, so I think that's it for this turn. Oh, they've attacked. Ah, they came after us. But it didn't go go so well for them. So this the bandit that had run off here came after us, but we were in a forest. So we actually receive actually no, that's not right. If we encamp, we receive a defensive penalty, but not if we besiege. So, oh, hey, look at that. He's a friend. Alright. So he's coming up towards the bandits here. That's not going to go so well for him. Alright, so we just got more timber. Perfect. And an apiary. Well, a apiary. The addition of all these icons has kind of screwed up the grammar system. Apiary is degraded, so we still have 61 honey, which is a lot of honey, my friends. That's what I like to see. There, end the turn here. Alright, starting to get cold, starting to get painful. You can see here, the battle forecast is starting to tip in our favor. Not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Alright, so the popcap, we are actually about to just hit it. So we are one turn away. If we hit 14 of 14, that will stop our production of fame. And we don't want that because we want more clans. We want more people that we can train and do things with. We just got the 5 cloth needed to increase that popcap, so I'm going to do that right now. There. So, used up our cloth, but now our popcap is 20 clans instead of just 14. So next turn we won't have to worry about that. And it would have turned red, it would have flashed, notification, that sort of thing, to remind us to, deal with it. But I'm gonna preemptively just do that now. All right, here we go. And I think we're in pretty good shape here. Okay, our army is just about out of supply, but you know what? Who's in worse shape? Our bandit camp here. You can see besiege, supply critical. The supply available to all bandit armies stationed here has been reduced by 6, and none remains. That's a lot. So they're rapidly fading here, and I think it's time for us to actually come in and finish them off. And after that beautiful combat animation, you could see that we managed to capture their location, their bandit camp. Plus 10 fame, plus 4 iron, plus 6 combat experience. And by pillaging, we will acquire more food, war horses, other resources that are really quite nice, quite handy. We can sell them, we can use them, all sorts of things. But you know what? I was planning on ending this game back in March or something. It's now late October. We're well over an hour at this point, so I think I'm actually going to call it at this point. I'd love to continue. I might keep going with this game here in a future Let's Play video. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know in the comments, and maybe we can make that happen. Anyways, thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video and the sneak peek at how the game is shaping up. We always appreciate everybody's patience. We know that the game is taking a while, but we think it's really working out. It's paying off. There's a reason why we're spending that time, and it's to make sure that this is the best game that it can possibly be. We're not just screwing around here. We're not just churning on what we have. We're really polishing. We're making this a better game. So we appreciate that, everyone, and yeah, stay tuned for next time, and thanks again. See ya.